in the year 2000, Donald, you considered running for president. If you had done that and if you had been successful, what do you think you'd be doing right now?
Well, I'd be taking a very, very tough line, Alan. I mean, you know, most people feel they know at least approximately the group of people that did this and where they are. But, boy, would you have to take a hard line on this. This just can't be tolerated, and it's got to be very, very stern. This is, as you and I were discussing before, Alan, this was probably worse than Pearl Harbor.
Chopper 4 local desk for Pete. Yeah, just so you know, when we go down to refuel, we will not be allowed back up in the air. There's a building in the way.
That's the third.
Security footage, September 12, 2014. A strange aircraft flies low over a building at the Synagogue Church of All Nations multiple times before the incident, and after the incident, the strange aircraft does not return. September 12, 2014. Take note of the upper left-hand corner of the screen. A strange aircraft flies over the building at the Synagogue Church of All Nations before the incident at 11:30 a.m. "13 minutes later, the strange aircraft flies low over the building before the incident, 11:43 a.m. Just 2 minutes later, the strange aircraft returns and flies lower over the building before the incident, 11:45 a.m. Nine minutes later, the strange aircraft returns and again flies low over the building before the incident, 11:54 a.m. This is the moment of the incident. After the incident, the strange aircraft does not return.
I was born in the concrete jungle, and I know how it feels not to eat in the jungle. So the lion goes for the prey in the concrete jungle. I seen goons turn to gazelles running in the jungle. Taught me in history, but they tell me what really happened. Like the Declaration of Independence was signed by Freemasons. So who you think funded the American Revolution? We pay the IRS pays Great Britain. And them bankers, boy, they love when we go to war. Charges high interest rate to fund the war, to know them all. For example, the U.S. boat Lusitania, when in German waters got bombed up and sank under. 323,000 Americans died. Baby Rockefeller made $200 million on their lives. And FDR was given intelligence by his spies. So the Pearl Harbor bombing was in a surprise. See, the war's designed to keep us in debt. So to keep us happy, they make a holiday for the vets. Then they bring the drugs, test them out in our communities. Cause in their mind, we just scientific monkeys. Why you think you can get any gun you want with no questions? Because the more you kill, the more money they making. You making money on the block. See the socks with the big knot. Rocks in the brief arc, next to the big cloud. I was born in the concrete jungle, and I know how it feels not to eat in the jungle. So the lion goes for the prey in the concrete.
Let's take another look at how the South Tower was turned into a pile of dust.
Jungle, I seen goons turn to gazelles running in the jungle. Trust me, nothing lasts forever, Mr. Star. You a runner, wanna be a cartel like Escobar. Pablo made 60 mil a day. Today they making 40 bail from the drug trade. See my point? You just making coins. Cause in this chess game you being used like a pawn. And as for me, what's my story? A refugee, I was born in Haiti. From the hut to the projects to the mansion, through New Jerusalem, now I reside in Jersey. Gramps was a voodoo priest, Dad was a preacher, Uncle was a Mason. I was raised Christian, best friend Muslim. House Salam Alaikum, my manager was Jewish. He taught me Shabbat Shalom, Flatbush Rastas. Taught me the scriptures, Haile Selassie, how to puff ganja. Then I met an Israelite standing on a corner. He told me, young man, we from the 12 tribes of Judah. Gave him a pound, walked past the grocery station. Big beads in my neck, reppin' Zulu Nation. I'm like peace, God, 5% a nation. Militant stand, I got the swag of a Haitian. Toussaint Louverture, Haitian Revolution. Napoleon army got spanked by the Haitians. 1804, independence, Black Republic. Then we help America get Louisiana purchased. Tucson, St. John with the info. Did you know a Haitian was the founder of Chicago? Jean-Baptiste, you might wanna Google search. And I put Haiti on the map, so all you do is Google Earth. I was born in the concrete jungle, and I know how it feels not to eat in the jungle. So the lion goes for the prey in the concrete jungle. I seen bulls turning gazelles running in the jungle.
Before Obama came along, we didn't have any successful radical Islamic terrorist attacking the United States.
Oklahoma City. ATF moved their offices out of there a couple of days before the bomb went off. Fertilizer bomb did all of that.
Oh,
right?
yeah. Right. You bet. Listen, that is, you see, in all these cases, there's always a glitch. I mean, if you hear that there's 7 postal workers that have one at a time, all of a sudden taken an AK-47 into the post office, shot everybody, then stuck the barrel in their mouth and pulled the trigger with their thumb afterwards, okay, that kind of tells you what's wrong with this picture, you know? And they say, oh, no, they're under a lot of stress, these postal workers.
Oh, that's what it is.
That's why this happens. Well, Oklahoma City is probably one of the biggest blinking neon signs there ever was. And that's why I wrote about it, because the bottom line is they killed 168 men, women, and children in Oklahoma City. The Murray building in Oklahoma City contained all the records from Ruby Ridge, Waco, and a whole lot of other FBI and CIA records that were sensitive stuff. Now, that's a fact. Okay, now you take a look at this thing. When I was really lucky because I got to see something very few people did. I had a friend call me and tell me that he had just heard on the radio that the building blew up. And he said, go home and turn on the TV and they'll have a special on it. Man, I was only 2 blocks from the house. I ran in, I turned on the world news, and sure enough, here it come in less than 2 minutes. And they show the front of the building and Connie Chung's reporting. Okay? Well, come to find out, she was 2 blocks up the street doing a special on homeless people in Oklahoma City. When it blew, she grabbed her whole camera crew and took them right down in front of the building and started photographing. And I got my head up to about 6 inches from the TV set, and I'm looking at the front of that building that's all blowing up, and there's a big hole where the truck was, you know, and I'm looking at that and I'm going, how could that have ever done that? Because look, the vertical pillars that supported the whole front of that building were huge. They were like 4 feet in diameter, and they looked like that you could see 3 of them, and they looked like they'd been cut off with a hacksaw. That's how close they were cut off. And she got done reporting and said, we'll be back. And they came back, and that was covered up with tarps. And it was, ever since then, they only showed that picture once. And the way you bring a building down like that, and several ballistics experts, including General Pardon, who is a retired general who's a ballistics expert, he said, you could never do that with an ammonium nitrate and diesel fuel combination in a truckload of barrels full of it in front of the building. He said it would blow all the windows out of the building and blow the doors off, and then you'd go right through the building to the back end, but it would never take the vertical supporting pillars out. It just doesn't have that kind of power. So the solution to that is, and we find out later, that there was a bunch of ops crews in there working on the ventilation systems and stuff in the building, when in fact what they were probably doing is wiring the main support pillars with primer cord. I don't know if you know what that is.
I know exactly what it is.
I used to use it some in my younger years in the ski industry, but you can wrap a column with primer cord, set it off, and it'll shear that column like it was cut with a knife.
Absolutely.
So here comes the evidence. Every seismograph center there was didn't report 1 blast, they reported 2. Consecutively, 2 seconds apart. And this is all the colleges that had seismo equipment and everything. And they said that this was done with a fertilizer truck with ammonium nitrate and diesel fuel, and it was 1 blast. But there were 2 blasts 2 seconds apart. Then there's 100 witnesses that saw 2 black helicopters above the building, hovering over the building when it blew up.